Hello, everyone. My name is Stack Banks. I'm your host of The Millionaire Millennial, your podcast, all things finance, crypto, investing, business, entrepreneurship related. Normally Mondays and Fridays, we release an episode every week. I have been remiss in doing that. I missed Friday's episode, but we are actually going to be trying to just do episodes every 2 to 3 weeks. And the main focus of our upcoming series is going to be on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. So right now, today is March the 11th, 2024. It is 3:26 Mountain Time. That's like a good even split between all the time zones. You guys can do the math for whatever time zone you live in. And at this time, Bitcoin is now at $72,341.61. So anyone who got in right around that $13,000 price range back in November, or excuse me, anytime within the last, from I would say summer of 2022 on into wintertime of last year, you could have picked up Bitcoin for easily a third of the price that it's selling for now. And it's just had massive gains. And so I want to talk about that a little bit, not only just for the people that picked it up at that price point, but just people who are just now hearing about the buzz and just wondering, what is Bitcoin? What's going on with Bitcoin? How do I get into it? What does that mean for other cryptocurrencies? Once again, I've said in other episodes, this is not meant to be investing advice. I say that with all legalities in mind, right? But in essence, for those of you who don't know, Bitcoin operates a lot like digital gold. Now, what does that mean? So most people know about gold, right? It's metal that comes out of the earth. It holds value. But Bitcoin, while mined, is not mined in the same way that gold is. It's a digital asset. It's on a blockchain. It's one of the first uses and implementations of blockchain technology and its use in the Web3 and cryptography space and cryptocurrency space. And we'll get deeper into that in some later episodes, hopefully this week. But essentially what Bitcoin does and the way it operates is it is an open ledger. It's a store of value. It's a way for people to send money back and forth, see who it's coming from, who's it going to, not necessarily all your personal private details, but it's able to remove third parties from the equation, right? You don't need a bank. All you need is two people, your phone, and some Bitcoin. So over time, Bitcoin has gained in value. Right now, like I said, I'm looking at on Coinbase, looks like a singular Bitcoin's going for around $72,000, almost $500 a piece. At one point in time, in the very beginning of its creation, Bitcoin, I believe the story was that Bitcoin, its first case use where someone actually exchanged Bitcoin for something of real world value, Bitcoin was used to buy a pizza in New York City. Someone had called up a pizzeria and said, hey, I have these things. They're called Bitcoins. I have 20 of them. Would you take them for a pizza? The pizza place said yes, and there you go. And that was back in 2008. So over time, you see it go from being worth about a pizza, right? And officially less than that. And at points during its history, less than that, to now being worth, kind of stretching the numbers here, but around $75,000. Now that's significant. So that's just within the last 16 years. Bitcoin is expected to be being mined until I believe the year 2140. That's when they believe the last Bitcoin will be mined. So what does that mean? So there are complex algorithms that people solve essentially, and they are rewarded with Bitcoins. And the amount of Bitcoins that they're given over time is trending downwards. So there are what's called halving cycles. The next halving cycle is actually coming up April of this year. That's what I believe is creating a lot of the buzz around Bitcoin. It is I believe part of why the price is fluctuating the way that it is and trending upwards. I don't believe it's the only reason, and I believe it might to a degree be uh, at times undervalued with how much it actually moves Bitcoin, and also overvalued, right? So I think there's other factors that go into the price of Bitcoin beyond just its scarcity. And some people would say, that's the only thing or whatever. But I believe most seasoned veteran traders, well, maybe not most, but there are quite a few who would have a tendency to agree with me that um, market sentiment is reflected by investor sentiment. Meaning, if the price of Bitcoin is going up, it's because the demand is there and a lot of people are hearing about it. And, it really might have its real world case and utility. I think personally, after all these years, it's beyond proven that, it's 16 years now that it's been around. I don't believe it's going anywhere. Barring, some type of catastrophic event that the internet is shut off completely. But, yeah. So, not to get too far off in the weeds, because I don't have a script in front of me. I'm just sort of going off the cuff here and giving you guys my own personal thoughts, which take them with a grain of salt, and also, as you may. I speak from a place of I wouldn't say expertise, because I don't believe that I am a full-on expert in this field, in the regards that I am able to offer you investment advice legally. I would not call myself an expert in that regard, but I am highly familiar with this space. I am a thought leader in this space. I do own cryptocurrency myself, and I am working on some things that I think are going to be revolutionary in this space, and I'll talk about in later episodes. So right now, though, to just kind of circle back, what's going on with Bitcoin and its price, I believe part of what we are seeing right now is the halving event coming up next month. That's going to drive up demand. I think that people are overly anticipating that to a degree, and also under appreciating what's going on with it, right? So all the Bitcoin that are offered out there in the marketplace is not a direct result of mining. What do I mean by that? So not every Bitcoin that's mined immediately makes its way onto an exchange to be sold. There are plenty of miners out there who keep Bitcoins, have reserves of them themselves, and keep them because they see the utility, the reward, also just for their own investment, right? So I believe it was in the news 3 or 4 days ago. BlackRock and the ETFs have sucked up about 4% of the current circulating Bitcoin supply. I believe it's about $1 billion of it at this moment in time. Maybe probably a little bit more, obviously, because the value of Bitcoin has gone up. But I believe that's created a significant pull towards trending up and to the right. When you look at the pricing of Bitcoin, I also believe personally that Bitcoin's undervalued. I think it's an asset that should be worth $250,000 to $500,000. There's a gentleman, I'll have to do a little bit more research and get back to my listeners with the name of him, but he had done some math and shown that when you actually look at Bitcoin overall, it's just a starting price point for it when you include how it impacts and what it impacts within the global economy, that he was arguing that a singular Bitcoin right now should be in the $250,000 range. And I find myself agreeing with him. And I think that will only continue to go up in time. I believe in DeFi, and I believe in Web3, and I believe in what cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in particular has done for the space and for the common man. I think it's a good thing that we're more in control of our money as a people, because money is used to represent the value that we all bring, right? So what do I mean by that? If you're a farmer and you grow a watermelon, right? Dollars are used to represent that watermelon at market. It represents our hard work. And so I think anything that strengthens and brings back ownership to the people and our fiat currency, whether that is through an implementation and use in the Web3 technology, Web3 space, crypto space, blockchain space, or if it's something that happens in the real world, I'm all for it. And it's something that I, for one, believe that cryptocurrency will create the largest revolution in finance as we know it. And I just want to help people be prepared, and I want people to be informed, and I would like for people to see the potential and possibility of this technology and how it can help them. And also to caution people that there are bad actors in this space. Please, please, please do not just take your money and throw it into a meme coin or something hoping that it's going to pump and tomorrow you're going to be a millionaire. If you do it, that's great. God bless. It's something that I caution you against, because if you do not know what you're buying, like anything else in this world, you are prone to be had and to make a bad investment and a bad choice. Please be informed about what you're buying. And when you put money into an investment, also understand, folks, be prepared to lose it. You know, an investment is just that. Just because it's an investment does not mean that it's going to work out. Okay. So if you've got some money and you want to play with the markets a little bit, I suggest small trading. Get on something like Coinbase or Robinhood, something that has low fees. If you even wanted to get and this is not an affiliate link or anything like that. These are just, this is just useful, hopefully useful information I'm trying to put out there to fans. But get you a small account and put something small into it, $10, $20, and buy you a little bit of crypto and see what's out there in the marketplace. Please do your research before you do it. And then, you know, get your feet wet. And if that's not for you, please just, you know, hang out on the sidelines. If you don't even care to do that, then please don't. If you're not someone that can handle risk, don't put yourself in a risky situation. So once again, just quick wrap up of why I believe, part of the reasons I believe Bitcoin is moving up and hitting all-time record highs today. The halving event upcoming. And then you have these large, massive ETF funds that are just sucking it up and creating scarcity. And then on top of it as well, I believe you have the market demand, right? Investor sentiment is there. People are hopeful. You've had a bunch of economic reports, especially with Wall Street, and not that it should, in my opinion, but Bitcoin does seem to trend with Wall Street. And as the markets do well overall, Bitcoin seems to do well overall. I personally believe it's just a byproduct of people having money and confidence to put into the markets. If people are putting money into the stocks, they are probably also putting money into Bitcoin and the ETFs and things like that, which I have not proven, and so don't take that as fact. But I do believe market sentiment and the hope of the market and the hope of the people definitely drive assets. On top of that, I believe that there are a lot of people out there that knew that this was a volatile asset and had bought into it, watched it spike back in 2021 and 2020 on through until it crashed in early 2022. And I believe that created a lot of seasoned traders and people who are willing to ride the market out and understand the utility of this, and through the success of Bitcoin and the rising of its price, especially to the record numbers that it has just within these last few weeks, has definitely validated some of those people, especially the people who quote unquote bought the dip. Those of you who don't know what that means, those are the people who, as the price fell on Bitcoin from, I believe its record high was around 60,000 or 64,000 prior to this year. And then, around June, we watched it tank all the way down to about half that value. And then right around October of that same year, back in 2021, prior to the XRP disaster, or excuse me, not XRP, the Sam Bankman-Fried disaster with FTX, it had spiked, I believe, to about 64,000, and then it tumbled and has continued to tumble until about, I would say, right around December of 2022, or excuse me, December of 2022, going into January of 2023, until it continued to climb and climb and climb, and then just within this last year or so, it has done almost double its value. So these are some of the things to look out for. Scarcity, I believe, is driving the market. Retail investors and retail investors are definitely have been driving Bitcoin and the Bitcoin narrative for a long, long time. And now I believe that has bled over into the institutional investors who are now also driving hype with their ETFs. And then you have the halving event. And then just scarcity of Bitcoin overall. I believe you have a lot of people who are unwilling to sell because they want to realize their gains at a 5, 6, 7x, 10x multiple. Shout out Gary Cardone at the 10x. But anyways, like I said, my name is Stack Banks. This is the Millionaire Millennial Podcast. We're going on about 16 minutes now, and I try to keep these episodes under 20 minutes for my listeners, but at times we may or may not go over. But I would like to thank you guys first off for tuning in, and hopefully this was of some use and value to you. And as this series continues on, you will get a better understanding of what Web3 is, what crypto is, and what that means to you and your finances. If you guys would like, you're more than welcome to follow us on Instagram at the Millionaire Millennial Podcast or Twitter. I myself also have my own personal Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that. I am stackbanks.official. And then you can also find a current Web3 and crypto project that I'm currently working on. It's a new blockchain that I personally believe will be revolutionary in the space. This is not a plug for it, but maybe just a kind of a sneak peek and teaser for anyone out there listening. But it's going to be a compliance device. That's not its primary mechanism. Its primary mechanism is to be a value recapture mechanism for the United States dollar, and hopefully bring back and recapture some of the value that we've lost due to inflation over time. I believe blockchain technology will allow us to do that. And I have a company, and we are focusing on a blockchain that I've named the Banks Coin that will work towards implementing that. And also potentially work as a compliance device within the Web3 and crypto space that will allow retail and institutional investors to vet crypto Web3 projects in the future going forward, and potentially those of the past, and figure out who are bad actors, who are good actors, fraudulent or not, and hopefully work to ensure investors against losses realized by bad actors, much similar to how the FDIC functions in the current fiat banking system. But more on that later at some point. The white paper for that project will be released in April of 2024, and you guys can look out for that on our Instagram as well. But that is all I have for now. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, follow, and subscribe, and tell a friend.